Good morning, everyone. This is Tracilyn Michael, also known as wright-patt. I am at my bank. I do not know what's going to happen when I take my camera in. Should I pretend I'm on Skype? Should I pretend I'm getting video for a friend who might be interested in opening up a bank account? I realize when I do videos sometimes and I go into public places that sometimes people are very friendly and sometimes not so friendly. I'm going to try to capture some video of my bank that I go to. It is the wright-patt Credit Union over here at Huber Heights. On a very good note, this is nothing to say bad about the bank unless they give me a very hard time about having on the camera. I used to come here to clean the bank when I lived at the Huber Heights house. I'll talk more about that later. I need to go in and make a small withdrawal. Then I'm going to take you over to another bank, and eventually when I get home, I want to be able to talk and share with you about that season of time. That I was desperate for occupation because I did not understand or know of any other way to live, and I was saying for years that I needed to do that. You always have signs psychologically before things, in my opinion, start to get really bad in your life. And unfortunately, I was listening to a lot of pathetic teachings that led to more turmoil, and then finally I got Social Security. Took forever. Was never notified, never understood to me that I could simply go to a county office and get that kind of assistance. I was aware of welfare. I did not know about Social Security. And someday I will talk about that subject. But they got a camera as I'm walking in, right? That's what I'm talking about. A world with cameras. What would it be like without them? I'll just give a quick twirl around, okay? So like you see the seats, the table, see the carpet. Like sometimes I think from what I remember I go over the chairs really good. Yeah, didn't take that long to do. So I'm gonna get in line. I got to do some banking. Yeah. See that? I would do all the offices that you see, like over here. I'd wash those windows, do the counters, get those really good. See the door windows?
For privacy.
For what reason?
You should be asking.
Okay. I'm not trying to offend you.
Just try to think about the people that you're taking pictures of.
Okay. I'm not here taking pictures of not one person. I'm doing it of you right now.
But I ask that you don't.
Okay. Okay, I will. Okay, thank you. Are you the manager?
Yes, I am.
Okay, it's nice to meet you. Okay, I am out of here. Evidently, I really upset her. I used to wash these windows and stuff. And that's just it. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. Oh, thank you.
That's just it. That's what I'm talking about. Why would you want to serve somebody who tells you that you can't videotape when you go into their establishment? You see this camera? Okay, they videotape me and I don't like it. I don't mind it because I'm okay with things. Nice street. But the truth of the matter is, in my opinion, we're going to move on to the other one and probably get asked to leave with that. All right, here we are at bank number 2. This is the other bank that I used to clean. I used to like coming here. I don't think I cleaned it as much as the wright-patt. I'm just going to go in here and find out what it would take to open up a bank account and see how long it actually takes before they throw me out. Okay, thank you. So here it is. I'll let everybody else go in. We got the doors here that I used to clean. See that? I actually like this bank. When I was here to clean it, I don't know whatsoever how long this thing is. Check out. What's the I already got the attention of one. And they have like little office spaces. How you doing? I'm just making a video because I wanted to talk to somebody about what it would take to open up a bank account.
Okay, well we can't take videos in the branch.
Okay, at all in here? I can't.
No.
I can't even show it like
No.
this. Okay. I'm not allowed to legally, or is it just with the branch management? Hi, I just wanted to find out some information on what it would take to open up a bank account here. Like, what is necessary?
Okay, are you filming?
Yeah, I'm doing for a friend.
Okay, yeah, we're not able to do that.
You're not?
No.
Is that by law or by management?
It's by our management.
Okay.
If it's, so.
Okay, I didn't want to upset anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not able to do anything like that on camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Okay, so that was it. I got to talk to Michael for a little bit. You see the glasses, stuff. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Ta-da! It totally amazes me how quickly. How long did that take? We'll have to look at the camera later on. That's how quickly people get on top of you. When you have a camera in your hand and you're talking to yourself, it's no different than if I was talking to a friend or my pet. There's people who have license, paperwork, or what have you. They have a pet therapy, like dog or something, or they could have a cat or a chihuahua. Or a chihuahua, is that a dog? Or a weasel. It's psychological pet therapy for them. They go into public places and stuff, and then they end up having problems that people say that a pet can't be in and all that other stuff. Okay, I am over at one of the parks. I just got to see someone that I first met when I moved into the Huber Heights house. They were previous owners, if you will. And I don't know the details, okay? I only know what I heard. And it kind of made me chuckle a little bit because I'm very familiar with the harsh demand of responsibility one is supposed to uphold according to the world's idea of responsibilities, especially when talking to insurance agents. I'm familiar with this. One of the things that has been dominated, and still to this day I get, much like everybody else, undesired paperwork to my mailbox. There's no real way to register that they never come back into your mailbox. I've always disliked this about the postal system. If you're getting undesired mail, especially today, you should be able to easily register that letter, and in my opinion, if it is coming to your address, either it be blockaded and destroyed, okay, or it be sent back to the person who sent it in the first place. For a lot of people, if they're not careful, they could be very irritated that they keep getting the same information of letters that they do not want to expose their brain to, they do not want to read, they do not want to see. For instance, I get mail sent to me continuously, and it's because of the people who are assaulting me through psychological communications and evidently direct energies of some sort. Mail with my birth name in 1972. You realize that it's not going to be of anything worth opening period to expose yourself to. So I just throw that stuff away. I usually rip it up and throw it away. Not in anger. I just look at it, I see it, I try to minimize the glance at it because it's just ridiculous. They want to embed that you are not who you are today, that you are who you were, evidently, if you were anything from maybe a different time, like 1972 and in the 70s and stuff, versus when I started to transition more into holy godly, royalty, Christhood, child, oh God. One of the things that, when you get back to the responsibility of things, is they try to also continuously keep sending out insurance policies. Insurance policy information letters that will let you know that you can get an insurance in case something would happen to you. I never really got into that. And one of the biggest reasons is I've always felt very strongly, especially for those who have needed insurance for various reasons. I'm not talking about health insurance. You will realize that when you need the insurance the most, there's usually somebody there who is doing the screwing to you. I was just talking to somebody that I really valued their relationship since, that I've met them and stuff. So I only have brief encounters with them and have since 2010. I was very grateful to know that they're both doing well. It's always nice when I get to see them and cross paths with this gentleman. The person had mentioned that they had an insurance policy that was, some people would perceive, that was quite enormous. The insurance company had let the person know, I don't know for sure, but I would assume that he would have had to cash his insurance policy in for probably X amount that would have been less than if he were to continue on with it and leave it behind for someone or something, a cause or something. They simply said because he was too old. He's not even 90 yet. And the insurance company actually told him that he was too old to have the insurance policy. And obviously I didn't really flinch at it because I acknowledged the simple fact that insurance companies pretty much are assholes a majority of the time, especially when a person is in need. Because of the taxation in our country, I don't know the details. In order for this person to utilize finances maturely for their life as they continue, they pretty much had made a decision that one of the things that they could do is donate a building that had something to do with the arts. I don't want to go into the details of it because I don't know the details at all. I've never been to the establishment, I didn't know. But I did see a mural of the people who used to own the house that I lived in Heber Heights. And how I found this information out was because he had mentioned about the mural. I mentioned to him that I see that when I pass by, that brings me joy. I drive by there sometimes just to see it. And I want to say that that mural gives me a lot of joy. There's times that it's almost like God will give me the red light and I'm the first car in line and I look across and I see that mural. Out of all the people I have met as I cross through lives, they are the smaller percentage of people that were very, very, very kind to me and still are very friendly, and it's really one of the few people that I experience what I feel is a genuine hug from human to human. I never thought that I would be the person to end up to even say that, because I'm a very loving person. What I've realized is you can be as loving as you are loving, and the majority of people are fucking assholes, and you don't want to hug anyway. I am drinking another coffee from UDF. It is decaffeinated with some cappuccino. I usually got like right up to here with cappuccino. Like I try to shoot for like a third of it with cappuccino and the rest of it is coffee. And then I put one creamer in sometimes. I don't drink every day. I do when I'm recording, especially mixing and mastering, because I need flavored drinks. What I really am appreciative about this gentleman is he always says something nice about my appearance. And I don't know if he knows that I'm a transgendered. That's not really talked about in the presence of one another. And I'm very grateful that it's not a barrier. So when he says nice things, or his wife says nice things, it really makes me feel good, because in a way I'm thinking the same about them. So it's that kind of, what they say, energy that is going on. They're a visual of what a lot of people, if they were to surrender to the truth, hope for themselves. And I'm not talking about the physical that you would see. If you have a long life, that you would still be able to be in a manner that says you could enjoy the life that God has given you. I don't know the details of absolutely their day-to-day life, but they appear in a manner that reminds me of words that I wouldn't say as a promise, but a comment to me when I used to see my great-grandmother in the 70s and stuff. One of the disappointments that ended up occurring in my life is that the government would assign people, and they would actually penetrate and go into people's brain and kind of purposely, with intent of causing all kinds of problems, like skin rashes, blemishes on the arm. Then they try to get you to assume that it's people from another country, it's aliens and all kinds of things. And I would just have to say that the average person that I have seen that tried to give me the signal to move on in life or has caused me the more harm or frustration in conversations was always what the world would acknowledge as like a secret service, undercover agency that looks like office personnel that don't take very good care of themselves, who like to walk around with their hands in their pocket telling other people, you know, pretty much what to do. These are people that don't like any sign of freedom at all. And they do things through the human race. So if you are a public speaker, recording artist, hey, you're speaking, you're a painter, rest assured, whatever it is, loves to do things through a human race to get more of the focus on what most people would say is a whole lot less life. Something to consider as you go about life. It's not just with artists, it is in general. They don't want to see people in healthy relationships living in a manner that says kingdomship. They are continuously bombarding people. And that's what was very hard for me, difficult in the fact that you would think as you're making things right with Christ, God, that as you become more at peace and happy about life, that you would end up in more favorable circumstances and with others who are excited and doing of the same. And then you find out, lame-o, not true. I am going to continue on. I want to make one more video with my other camera that shows you the road that I was driving on when I used to go over to the bank, and acknowledge the fact that I could be thinking a lot of different thoughts, but I was thinking in many ways that God is making a way for me somehow, some way, something good, not bad, but good is going to come through all of this. If I had a business and stuff and people were coming in, it's all on their actual behavior. Say it. Whether camera or not. And in my opinion, someone with a camera on, it's a perfect opportunity to walk up and make yourself be known. And your establishment. Something is paying attention to all of this. And I would have to say, in closure for this, that people who instantly aim, I don't think it's on purpose, to shut other people down from their moment of enjoyment, are in the position they're in because that's what they're worthy of. And people like me are in the position I'm in right now because I hoped I could live through something I never wanted to do, which was record a bulk load of songs. That's why I refrained from writing a lot of songs. Trickery. If I scan back through teenage years, I'm grateful for the person that evidently was some kind of major recording artist that at that time I probably would have saw on TV once or twice. They were very friendly, very kind. If you cannot record the songs you wrote right now within 10 years the way you want, and take time to figure out why that is. I'm not quoting, that's pretty much the conversation. When a man such as earlier walks up to you and says you can't videotape in here, there's a lot of room for dispute, and I will simply be kind to the better of my ability to simply say, okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend you or nothing. There's a lot of case scenarios that I know I could stand on a stage today and share with people. The topic would be, do you understand what you're saying? When you walk up to somebody and say they can't do something, do you know what you're saying? Do you understand, like in this situation, you can have the person turn off the camera, but there's cameras everywhere, and God is present, whether there's cameras or not. The church, in my opinion, needs to reconsider their teachings. The United States government had put stress through their laws they force upon everybody, on this person's life, including mine. The United States government is not God, and they are not God's government. They are not the government. They are impersonating leadership. They justify something as reasoning to be legit as to why it should be brought upon all of us. In my opinion, they're either lost or they're really screwed up in the head. And so is masses of people that let that kind of things happen. And more testimony should be shared with the effect that government that we think exists, how it is contaminating, harmful, and polluting the entire planet. I am not anti-government. It's very difficult reading the Holy Bible, being raised in the Christian community, and studying psychology and the nature of the beast, being familiar with it, knowing that when you do the very best you can to surrender to Christhood, which is a lot to define, if you would, if it ever could be, words, trying to be happy and fulfilled, to be of good cheer. Challenges arise. And I want to say to the people who did Roadhouse movie, I used to love Patrick Swayze movies, and one of the reasons why is because if you pay attention to his movies, I'm not saying 100% the entirety of any movie or every movie that he did. I'm not saying Patrick Swayze, but if you pay attention, there is words that are statements, occurrences when he spoke that are extremely valuable for quality, fulfillment, life. And one of the things that I know I've heard other people on YouTube say, and I'm like, that's how I feel exactly the same way. One of my favorite scenes is when he's talking to everybody at the Roadhouse, and he says, always be nice, always be nice, until there's no more reason to be nice. My battery's going out, so I gotta switch phones. I used to like Patrick Swayze a lot. I thought he was one of the cooler male actors. Someday maybe I'll talk about that when I return all of my movies. I'm going to give them to the library because I realize I don't want to keep watching the same movies over and over again. Bye.